Metal sculptors will work through the heat and ice to create gargantuan works of art whose heights are only surpassed by their expenses. Being an artist is demanding, no question. So what is it that draws people to the arts? What are their missions? What brings them joy? What challenges them? And what are their recommendations to young artists? These are the questions that we posed to 7 professional artists.
So there's 3 reasons why I'm an artist: truth, expression, and freedom. So art is one of the best mediums to explain the deeper truths of life. Deeper truths such as emotion, belonging, interconnectedness. These are very abstract notions that are best understood through creative, artful endeavors. The other reason is expression. And art allows me to express the deepest parts of my soul and to basically allow my vessel of consciousness to be empty. I have no stagnation because I can release everything that's on the inside through my art. And the other reason is because of freedom. Art, the art world, unlike any other paths, is one of the most accepting careers for eccentric people. And for that reason, I can dress however I want, I can go for a hike whenever I want, I can say whatever I want, I have an incredible amount of freedom. So, the reason why I'm a sculptor is because sculpture, due to its nature, three-dimensional nature, it creates space and it creates gravity, and that gravity is unignorable. I like to do large-scale public sculptures, and these sculptures are visible not just to hundreds but to millions of people, and for that reason it has a greater influence and a more positive effect, and I believe it increases the quality of life of the surrounding environment and community. So that's why I do large-scale sculptures. My purpose in life is to improve the world. And I believe one way that we can improve the world is to provide space and reason for people to slow down and introspect and to look around them and to inspire curiosity. And I believe that art and sculpture allows for that inspiration and that slowing down. It's my intent to derail people from their tracks of normalcy, even if momentarily, to break people away from the concrete world and boxes and the virtual world, and give people an excuse to just be alive. The most satisfying part of my art has to do with the effect that it has on people. It makes me extremely happy when I see people slow down with my art and have emotions. I can see the internal gears going on in their mind as a result of interacting with my art. That makes me super happy. The most challenging part of being a sculptor has to do with the heavy tools that I use and the space I need to do my work. My paint and palette is the welder and the angle grinder and the plasma cutter and air compressors, metal shears, all sorts of, even a forklift. And it takes time and quite a bit of investment to acquire those tools. Unlike a lot of other studio artists, where you can go to an art store to get your materials and supplies, I go to industrial environments. I go to scrap yards. I go to metal yards. Not only that, but I need space to do that. And so for many years, I've worked outside in the rain and the snow and the wind and 0 degrees temperature and 120 degrees. So it's been an extreme challenge in pursuing this career. The other thing that creates a challenge is the unique skills that you need. Of course, learning how to weld is a skill that takes time, but also things that only experience can teach you, such as warpage and loads and finesse, not to mention artistic composition. And so it just takes time and devotion in order to develop those kinds of things in order to do this. I have much advice for the aspiring artists. Starting with devotion to your craft. You need to spend time thinking about art, creating art, practicing art, just working on art, spending hours and hours a day for every day working on your craft. The other thing is immersion. Now, not to be confused with devotion. Immersion, by that I mean immersion in the art world, and that is going to art galleries, going to art museums, talking with other artists, reading books on art, studying artists that you like. The other thing is sleep. Our society underrates the necessity of sleep. We reward people who selflessly devote and hurt themselves in order to attain their goals. But sleep is a critical thing to clean the brain of toxins. It also allows our minds time to live in the subconscious and unconscious worlds. And it's in those worlds where we derive creative inspiration, balance. Now, contrary to just devoting all your time to it, you also have to spend time sharpening the saw. There's a book out there called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and in it the author talks about production versus production capability. And what that means is, say we have a machine, maybe we are the machine, and you can work that machine 24 hours a day, every day of the week, and without any downtime, without any maintenance. And for a brief period of time, you're going to get an increase in productivity. But ultimately, in the long run, it's going to get hurt and broken, and you're going to have to maintain that machine. You have to repair that machine. And so it's critical to take time to slow down and to meditate and to rest and to find your inspiration in addition to work. The other advice I have is about being authentic, doing art that makes you want to dance, that makes you happy, that makes you ecstatic, doing art that speaks your truth, not what other people want you to do, but art that is what you want to do. That's being authentic. The other suggestion I have is about writing. There's a great book out there called The Artist's Way, and in it, she talks about something called morning pages, where the first thing in the morning, you write 3 pages of anything and everything that comes into your mind. And what this does is it gets all the thoughts that are bouncing around in our minds throughout the day. It gets them out of our mind and onto paper. In a sense, it's kind of like we go through our day with too many applications up in a computer, and it's just bogging down our computer. And by writing, it has the effect of turning those applications off and allowing our minds to process things better. That leads me to limiting technology. Technology distracts us. It dilutes our focus. It has been shown that the mere presence of a smartphone turned off will reduce our test scores significantly, as well as our emotional intelligence. And so I have a few suggestions on how to limit technology. One thing is, of course, remove all social applications from your smartphone. Turn all your screens into grayscale to make it less attractive. Log out of websites when you're done with them. Turn off your computer before you leave. Don't reach for your phone first thing in the morning. Turn off your phone at night so you can get good sleep. These are some things that you can do to limit the focus-sucking technology in our life. That then leads me to my final suggestion, and that is about nature. Nature is our source. It's where we come from. It's where we derive sustenance. nature recharges our batteries, and it has been shown that even people who are in the most stressed out states of their life, when they are outside in beautiful, pristine nature, they find inspiration, they find happiness, and their batteries are recharged. It's absolutely critical to be in nature every day, preferably, for your creative pursuit.
Sculptor Joseph Rastovich has been creating large steel sculptures since he was 14 years old. He has completed 13 public sculptures and participates in many of the top art festivals in the Western United States. As a bonus, he is also a musician, dancer, and writer who strives to create space for others to express themselves.